For this video, we're going to be talking about charts and graphs. One of the easiest way to see data, the most fun way too, is by looking at graphs. A lot of people like to interpret graphs more than looking at a table or looking at raw data. So even when frequency distributions are good ways to present aspects of data, pictures are always more effective in displaying large data collection. So for example, if we were talking about who's watching the baby, we can see a pie chart. Or if we're talking about what is our favorite M&M, we could also have a bar chart. We will see some, but not all. Right now, we have many ways to see data in bars or charts, but we're going to go with the most common ones. When one of the most common ones is a histogram, it is usually used to present interval and ratio data. So it is important, not all charts are for all variables. So it is important to know how you can show your data better. The adjacent bars indicate that the numerical range is summarized by classes. So in this case, if you see, this is a continuous variable. We're talking about income. That is why in a histogram, the bars are together because it is continuity. The size of your bar in a histogram, it is the frequency. So that's easy. In a frequency polygon, this is something that we see all the time. If you see, we have the same chart as before. In this case, what we do is we go with the class mark. So we go to the middle point of each of my bars of a histogram, and then I just put them together. So if you're constructing a frequency polygon, you also have a histogram. It says, to construct a frequency polygon, you mark the frequencies on the vertical axis and the values of the variable being measured on the horizontal axis, as with the histogram. In this way, a frequency polygon is better because we can have two sets of data here and we can see them better than if we had bars. An ogive, it's a cumulative frequency distribution. An ogive always goes up because it is accumulating. An ogive is used when one wants to determine how many observations lie above or below. First, your cumulative frequency distribution is constructive. Then you are plotting the upper class of each category, or you can also do it for a relative frequency distribution. For example, in this case, I told you it always goes up because we want to work towards a total. And as the previous slide was saying, we want to know what goes above or below. So if we wanted to know when was the savings, when did you just have half of your savings? So we know that by March, we already had 50% of what we have right now because we were at $500. So March is month 3, right? So by month 3, I had 50% of what I wanted. A pie chart is the one that we use the most because we know percentages very well. We can interpret percentages very well. It is useful if the relative sizes of the data are to be emphasized, and it also presents an effective way of ratio or interval scale data after they have been organized. Pie charts are very abused. Sometimes we use pie charts to present a yes or no. That is super boring. If we wanted a yes or no, we could have used numbers. But if we are talking about, I don't know, categories, what is your favorite food? And we have seven different categories. That is interesting. This could be pizza, this could be sushi, this could be, I don't know, Korean, Chinese, Mexican, whatever. But there we can see very well that, for example, pizza is the most favorite, right? Pizza and then Chinese, maybe. So sometimes pie charts are super boring. Here I have some examples of it. What I do when a teacher says this cannot be done the night before, adhere to the warning and start early. That may be like I don't know, a 10%, or take it as a personal challenge would be the other one. Or this other one that I find super boring because it has only two answers. So time spent each time I'm on Netflix, so it could be searching through movies or actually watching movies. So pie charts again, like every type of chart or graph that you decide to do needs to interpret your data well. The bar chart is not the same as a histogram because a bar chart is used for variables that are not continuous. Here we can present nominal or ordinal data. One bar is used to represent the frequency for each category. They're usually positioned vertically with their bases located on the horizontal axis, and they are separated because they are not continuous variables. They are used for a different thing. We can see this, for example, we have countries, they're not the same, they're not continuous, right? And we have gold reserves. So although we can see the information very well, we cannot put them together. This cannot be a histogram because we are talking about distinct countries and how much they have in gold. So not all charts or graphs are made equal. You need to know what variable you're going to be presenting and how you can better present it for people to understand.